Okay, so day 3 seems to have dropped early, and it's basically all about the pyro. It's some new pyro weapons, and like let's take a look at it. We have the Dragon's Fury, which is a basically powerful single-shot flamethrower. Consecutive hits reduce reload time and deal bonus damage. So I assume it's gonna use like a reload function. So you fire it, and then you have to reload it somehow. So it's like a flamethrower you actually have to reload by looks of this. So it seems like it could be pretty nice, especially if it have some sort of range, because it sounds like it could have a bit of range, and looks like it with a fireball it like shoots, maybe, who knows. Then we have basically the Flyro, as people have started calling it, the jetpack for pyro. Secondary fires a short duration blast, so I assume that's like a blast that makes you like go into the air, and then you deal like basically the man threats on top of it. Like, so what I imagine this is gonna be like a rocket jump, where it also have built-in man threats that you deal damage when you land on people. So the idea here is basically the market gardener for pyro, combined with like everything that you need in that sense. That's actually a bit funny, actually. Then we have the gas passer. It basically like makes a cloud that coats enemies, and then it flammable material. So I assume you just toss it out. It's a bit like a Derade or Mad Milk, but then you use your flamethrower on it or some shit, and then it just explodes and deal pretty good damage. That's what I think it is. And then we've got the hot hand, which is a melee weapon. You gain a speed boost when you hit enemies. It have damage penalty, and then it's a bit like the holy mackerel, like it shows in the kill feed, or like the spy's arm for scout, stuff like that. Pretty decent. So that's I don't know if you can call this a weapon, but I mean, that's 4, let's just say that's 4 weapons. So my prediction of 3 weapons isn't correct. Plus there's like a little banana down here for the heavy. So that's technically 5 weapons, even though this is just a reskin of a sandwich, and then like twice as fast. Like basically it recharges twice as fast and then heals half of it. So it's basically in that sense a sandwich. It haven't taken that much effort, just reskin the sandwich, change some stats. I'm not sure with this if it's just, you know, a bit like Derade as said. This probably haven't been that hard either. Like, what I think is, like, these are the 3 weapons that they've spent time on. So in that sense I would say 3 weapons maybe, because these are more unique. But these 2 just seems like reskins of other weapons, like pretty standard concepts in that sense. So, I mean, my prediction was 3 new weapons, I guess, or yeah, 3 new weapons. So it depends really on how you take it. I would say that there's like 3 new weapons and then 2, you know, repurposed concept from other weapons. I don't know about that, but 3 to 5 new weapons. I think my prediction were pretty okay depending on how you take it. And then there's some flamethrower improvements in general. So this is basically the bug fixes, I assume, for the flamethrower that I pretty much also predicted that there would be some bug fixes that should probably have been fixed long ago, or fixed long ago. So better visual sync, more consistent, so it's not like it looks like you have them on fire, but they are not, I guess. So new particle effects as well, and then it applies to all flamethrower variants. I guess this down here, the air afterburn and air blast. So burn duration is now based on how long the flamethrower was actively hitting an enemy. That seems actually pretty good, because it's a bit silly. Like, if it is how I think it is, like, it's a bit silly that they hit you once and then you are bound to take 60 damage when you are class like engineer with 125 HP, or if they use a flare gun and before the next one hit you, you basically instant die instead of you actually have time to react. So if that is how it works, then yeah, no more puff and run attacks that make enemy burns for 10 seconds. That's what I was hoping. Like, that seems a bit more fair in like afterburn. I don't think this applies to the flare gun though. I hope it does, because that is a bit annoying how you can just, you know, basically force enemies to take 60 burn damage with the flare gun by just hitting them once. It's actually insane, especially considering the long range. I don't know. Let's like aside from that, let's look at the air blast. So hit detection for both players and projectiles is now a consistent cone. That is pretty good because sometimes it were like, wait, what? And you probably seen some of the air blast where it basically fires above your head and then hits an enemy behind you or some shit, or like a spy that's about to backstab you. So aiming at players' feet should no longer miss. That seems pretty okay. So you can actually like air blast the rocket down to their feet, so you can actually hit them. So if you like the next one here is that the air blasting put in your momentum, which means that like let's assume I'm running forward. It's a bit like how I've been talking about when I, as a pyro and fight an enemy pyro, I walk backwards with the flames to like drag it out longer. The thing here is that if you walk backwards with the air blast, you should be able to drag it longer and air blast like safer air blast, but you can also charge the enemies, and then I assume maybe it's faster, but then you have less time to actually air blast. So it basically gives you more control over the interaction. So if you just take like a quick step back when you're about to reflect, you should basically have better control if what I'm reading here is correct. And then some nerfs. The air blast gets more consistent, but then players lose footing and air control for a short period of time rather than losing all control. So it seems like a nerf there. And now it factors in the upward angle of the air blast rather than having a fixed upward force. So assuming I aim down in the ground and air blast, I should push them more than up in the air. But if I aim upwards, I should be getting them like launched into the air. And then air blast strength increase, so we're probably gonna see a whole lot of people being blasted over the cliff, I guess. But I assume here you will be able to strafe, maybe, I don't know. And we basically have the banana that I went over a bit before, where it's basically just a sandwich, because there we got nothing, so we got the banana. And then we have the taunt that everybody probably already seen, and I think that about covers it. So still not impressed. Like, for me, this is just 3 new weapons. You can argue that I were incorrect with my prediction that there's technically 5, but I only really expected 3 new concepts, and that's what we got here. So still very disappointed in that, even if they did give us 5, even if these 2 are completely original concepts that I just failed to see, then 5 for that time, not interested, like, not at all, like, what is it called? Not at all impressed is what I'm trying to say. But that's day 3. I mean, so far they've going pretty, like, in my opinion, it have gone pretty much as I was predicting it to be, which is a huge letdown for the time that we've been waiting for this update. Like, this should be an update like they could be able to deliver between like 3 and 6 months by what I've seen so far. So I really hope to see. Like, I assume, like, tomorrow is just gonna be balance changes, right? So I'm still gonna be disappointed, because that can't take a whole year to do the balance changes like that. You can have a few dedicated people sitting at the balance changes. So maybe there's some new secret surprises on day 4. Else, I'm just very disappointed with this update so far. It's just like, if we have to wait above a year for these kind of updates, which really should be able to be delivered in 3 months to 6 months, if they, you know, press for release and take all the short corners they can in terms of like using the community resources. I don't know, it just seems like I'm just disappointed with this. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this regardless. I'll see you again next time.